What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of JohnnyVTV Live. Join with me, my very good friend and co-host, Nick Durst. What's happening, brother?
What's up, Johnny? We're missing Kyle tonight, but we got a pretty solid guest joining us later on. And you two actually met up last week down in what formerly used to be Tampa Bay. No more champs right now except the Lightning. And, you know, they might be losing another great one soon. They're losing Brady, and they could be losing Johnny V. See what happens.
Could you, bro? They might be. No, they're going to be losing Johnny V soon. That's actually, that's a sad thought. But all good things must come to an end. Never know if I return. And in terms of our guest, I got to be honest. I feel like he's not even a guest this week. He's more of like a third co-host. I feel like that's kind of that's a fair analysis, a fair description of
coming
Mr.
for Kyle's job,
Calabrese.
maybe.
He might be coming for Kyle's job, man. Where's he at tonight? He's doing something with the Devils tonight, Kyle, I think, right?
Yeah, who cares about the Devils, really?
It's hockey. Right, exactly.
I mean, if you're going to be a hockey fan in the Northeast, like, you got to be a Rangers fan.
I mean, listen, man, like, at least me, I grew up going to Devils games. I grew up going to the Izod Center, watching guys like Martin Brodeur on the ice. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's hard to.
I don't even know where Kyle is.
Audio cut out. What'd you say?
I don't even know where Kyle lives. So I'm very confused by his teams.
Yeah. Tennessee, Red Sox. I don't know, bro. He's all over the board. But Sunday was a championship game. Honestly, it was a couple of wild finishes. It's just kept up with the same, anticipation of the divisional round. We saw 4 thrillers in the divisional round. Last week, this past Sunday, we saw 2 games back-to-back also end in thrilling fashion. What was your reaction to Championship Sunday?
Well, I mean, I personally was not a fan of the style of the game we saw between the Rams and 49ers. That's not the type of game that I like to watch. Obviously, close game, so certainly most would say it's a good game. I like more of that, Chiefs, Bills type of game, or I like the Chiefs Bengals game, and I thought it was overall pretty solid weekend of football. Of course, a lot of drops in the NFC Championship game defensively, and the AFC side. How about Eli Apple? This guy's chirping all week, and he's lucky that the next pass was picked because he had the chance to pick it off, pick 6 to end the game, and he drops it like literally right in his chest. Pathetic. And he's going to chirp and sweater.
That's mad Asante Samuel vibes. Remember that in the Super Bowl versus the Giants where his interception would have ended it and he didn't pick it off and the Giants ended up winning? I mean, I don't know, man. Eli Apple's been just a piece of burnt toast lately. And he got gashed by Tyreek Hill a couple times. And listen, he made a nice stop at the end of the first half, which, by the way, was an absolute atrocity. Andy Reid, like a guy who's should be highly regarded as one of the best play callers of not only this generation, but of all time in the NFL, makes an absolute horrible error in judgment. Take the point. Not only do you keep points on the board, extend a 14-point lead going to half, but you keep the momentum and you refrain Cincinnati from getting any. I truly believe if KC kicks the field goal before half, the Chiefs continue to score. They score at least 35 points in the game, get their team total, attribute it to the over. Mahomes goes well over 300 passing yards. I just think with Kansas City's inability to get in the end zone, it crippled them. And as great as Cincinnati has played this year and all the resiliency and everything like that, the Chiefs lost that game, in my opinion. I just can't overstate that enough. But listen, Joe Burrow's your guy, man, right? So
well, I like Joe Burrow, but he's really Joe's guy. But I mean, Joe Burrow's not leading. He didn't lead the team to the Super Bowl. He hasn't played great this postseason. Like his leadership's been great. His resiliency's been great. He's not going out there throwing 330 for 3 touchdowns with no picks. Like that's not. He's throwing 235 with a pick and 2 touchdowns. It's getting it done. So kudos to him. But the Bengals story is really it's a team effort. I would say. I wouldn't say that they just won a game because Joe Burrow was insane. I mean, but Joe Burrow is the leader, and that leadership means a lot when it comes to winning games and rallying when you're underdogs.
100%, man. Honestly, like his numbers in the postseason, it's not always about the stats because it's about the intangibles. Like, bro, like I can't speak for because I'm not in the huddle, but I'm sure these guys, when especially down 18 points, you see a guy like Joe Burrow, bro, he's fearless. That's what I love about him. Joe Shiesty, Joey Franchise, Joey Burr, Hollywood Joe. Yeah. Like this kid, for being so young, he's got it, bro. He's got the X factor. He's got like that Tom Brady like coolness under pressure.
Yeah.
And bro, you can't buy that. You can't work on that. Like you either have it or you don't. And Joe Burrow, while he has it, like you said, he has not been unbelievable with the numbers in the postseason, but he's doing enough to keep his team in contention, keep them well in regards to making comebacks as they have. But how do you think they fare in Super Bowl Sunday against the Rams?
Well, I think it's going to be what we've seen every single game so far this postseason, where it's going to be a close game, and then the difference maker could be their great field goal kicker. We won't give our predictions this week. We'll talk about the Super Bowl next week, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think you got to take the under just based on the way the teams have been playing as of late. Both of these teams, Bengals are playing low-scoring games. The Rams have an explosive offense, but they're being held in check for the most part. And,
what do you mean? They got back-to-back 30 pieces in the wild card to a divisional round.
Yeah, I know, but last week, I thought they were going to blow out the 49ers. So, I mean.
Listen, it did Ashbet, because let me tell you something. That game should have been a much wider margin. Skoranek drops the 40-yard bomb just in the breadbasket from Big Daddy Stafford after Cooper Kupp dropped a head scratcher. That one he might have taken to the house, bro. Because let's not forget, Cooper Kupp is a yak daddy. So he honestly could have taken that one to the crib. And, the interception and on the opening drive or the second drive at the goal line, honestly, the Rams did leave a lot of points on the board. But overall, man, their offense has been humming this postseason.
You want to talk about drops? How about Tart? I mean, that was the worst drop I've ever seen. I don't know how his teammates feel about that, but that was the game right there, because if he picks that off, then you're playing with the lead up 3. It really changes the complexion of the game, and things could have turned out differently.
Absolutely, man. I mean, that kid's just he's not gonna be forgetting that one anytime soon. Like, also though, Jalen Ramsey dropped an easy interception deep in the Niners territory. Like, he catches that ball 9 out of 10 times. And the Skoranek drop, the Cooper Kupp drop, there was definitely big moments on either side. Like, let's call it what it is, man. If Skoranek catches that touchdown, I'm sure that game also at the moment plays out, because that was an early drop in the game. That wasn't late in the game. So, tomato, coulda, woulda, shoulda. One of those old analogies. But let's
the only thing I want to say about that game real quick, though, is that a lot of people say Garoppolo lost the 49ers of the game. I disagree, because when your strategy offensively is to run the ball and you do that for the first 3.5 quarters, you can't just expect somebody to be able to turn it on with men in his face all of a sudden for the last 9 plays of the game. You got to be consistent, or maybe you got to throw the ball a little more earlier. If you're getting to a certain point by doing one thing, you can't expect all of a sudden at the last second to change your strategy, and that's going to help you win. And we'll see what Garoppolo ends up. He's definitely going to be a starter somewhere next year for sure.
The Niners maxed out Jimmy G like my American Express card, bro. It always boggles my mind, and we always see this, especially in the playoffs. Coaches get away from what got them there. If the Niners were down double digits again, 3 possessions, like kind of they were in week 18, which, by the way, they ran the ball a lot more against the Rams when they were down 3 possessions than they did last week when they were leading most of the game. It was a one-possession game, or Niners up 2 possessions pretty much the entire time. Like, they only ran the ball like 20 times. They haven't had that few of runs in over 2 months. Over 8 weeks of football, that's the fewest rush attempts they've had. I don't understand it. Why would you get away from that? Eli Mitchell, for the most part, was doing great. Deebo Samuel in the rush game was doing great. It just boggles my mind how Kyle Shanahan could pull a stupid stunt like that. But then again, he proved he doesn't got it either, man. He's not clutch. He's a brilliant play caller. But when chips are on the line, game is on the line, he just folds. And guess what, dude? I'll never forgive him for that blown Super Bowl with the Falcons. So him blowing 20 more leads in the championship game or the Super Bowl would not be enough. He needs to suffer. Because honestly, man, as great as he is, as smart as he is, he's so arrogant, dude. He thinks he's King Midas. Everything he touched turns to gold. Not true, bro. He's what Tony Soprano would call King Midas in reverse.
Speaking of your Falcons, right now, I would say go ahead and place the futures bet on them to win the NFC South next year. Best quarterback in the division. They're gonna, I don't see how the Bucs are gonna win with whoever. The Saints don't have Peyton; they're gonna stink. The Panthers stink. I don't know who's gonna be their quarterback. So by default, you look at a really weak NFC South. You got Matt Ryan there. Your guy Arthur Smith. I mean, Falcons to win the NFC. So
I hate him. No. Listen. I've learned this the hard way. You cannot have any expectations on the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan got his butt beat many times this season. Kyle Pitts is going to come along next year. He had over 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end, which is like almost unheard of. And honestly, if you followed him game to game, he wasn't really that impressive outside a few weeks against like the Dolphins when they were terrible, against the Jets. Like, he did not have as good of a year as it looked on paper. Calvin Ridley, he flat out quit football. So, and there's a realistic shot he doesn't even return. They have no defense. Their pass rush, their pressure defense was even worse than it was in 2020, which was the worst in the league as well. So with Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot, like, they just continue to validate my thought when the two of them got paired together that they have no idea what they're doing. And after last year, like, guys, we have to think about something. If Julio Jones, one of the best receivers to ever play the game, after being in Atlanta for 10 years, ups and wants to leave, and then Calvin Ridley the following year, when it's his time to be the wide receiver one, pretty much takes a sabbatical 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, doesn't play for the rest of the season, and then pretty much expresses that he wants out. I'll put it to you this way. I've never really heard any Falcons players, current or past, complain about Matt Ryan like he's Baker Mayfield. So it's got to be the front office. It's got to be the coaching. It's got to be something, because the fact that 2 star wide receivers want to leave in back-to-back seasons, that's telling me something. So we can't have any expectations of the Atlanta Falcons. They'll find a way to blow it.
All right. It's too early to tell, but we got to see who's coaching the Saints. We got to see who's coaching the Bucs. We got to see who's the quarterback for the Bucs, who the tight end is for the Bucs. The Panthers, I think, are going to be terrible, but I mean, I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. And the South is going to be very winnable next year, just like the East.
It is. But guess what, man? We got our boy here. Met him in person for the first time last week.
Yeah.
We got to bring him out, my boy. Joey Calz, baby. Welcome to JohnnyVTV Live, son.
We're back. We're reunited, and it feels so good. Man, I was so happy that you came out. Now I understand it was a Wednesday night, and I couldn't stay down there, and I missed the parade over the weekend. But I just want to say we had an unbelievable time, really great time, even for a night out during the week. Your car was unbelievable. Got to check out a couple of different places that night, but really, really fun meeting you in person. I'd be happy to continue.
What kind of car does Johnny got? Decked out Subaru or something?
No, Johnny, tell him.
I don't want to brag. I mean, I like to brag, but about my possessions.
Johnny, go ahead, tell him.
Fine. All right, I got a challenger.
He got
Challenger.
Okay.
Challenge is really
just
really
like
nice.
he's similar like your cousin. Got the decked out car,
I took a picture of it before he
What
drove
cousin?
away, so I'll send it.
Whose
My
cousin?
my
Joe's cousin.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
You remember
yeah.
he remember he told you about the WRX that he had that he sold?
Oh, yeah, but he had the Subaru.
Yeah.
Listen, bro, it was great meeting you guys. Nick, dude, we went to this arcade I never heard of, right, in Tampa. Dude, they had all the throwback video game machines. They had NBA Jam. They had NFL 99. They had Mortal Kombat. They had Donkey Kong. What else they have? They had the racing game. What was the racing game?
What was the
Mario
racing
Kart?
game?
They had the one with the steering wheel. We didn't play it, but
No,
it
we
was
didn't.
pretty good, man. It was
They had
good.
a bunch of pinball games. A lot of.
Where'd you take Joey after? You guys went around town?
Went to
Went
the
to my
Love
spot.
Child.
Went to my spot, Love Child's, right? Listen, I hook up everybody there. They make the best espresso martinis. That's my
Okay.
They
go-to.
do.
I live.
You guys
for
had
an
espresso martinis? That's hysterical.
Dude, they were really good espresso martinis. I'm not really a martini guy, but they were unbelievable.
Listen, I took them out to Soho on a Wednesday, bro. That's like the hopping spot down in
Yep.
Tampa where all like the young kids go, where I'm honestly getting a little too old to hang out. It's all like the college kids. But dude, it's a lot of fun. And I told him, I was like, yo, you came here on a Wednesday. You come even on a Thursday. Like if he stayed the weekend, come on a Thursday. It's dollar beers at one of the spots. So the entire area is popping Friday, Saturday. You know, it gets loose. Sunday football. It's a great time, man. I'm happy you came down, and I'm glad I got to meet you, bro. It was definitely a great experience. For sure.
Yeah, it was like I said, me and Nick have met a lot of people through our podcast, doing the streams and stuff. It's one thing to meet somebody like this when you're doing a video call, or you're doing a Zoom call or something. It's another thing to actually interact with somebody in person. There's a lost art to people actually wanting to be face to face, in person and wanting to hang out and stuff. And we had a really great time. And that's
Joe, what was
the first time, and it won't be the last.
What was your initial takeaway from me and Johnny? Like, oh wow, this guy's taller than I thought.
Yeah, he was taller than I thought, and he's pretty. I don't want to.
Pretty jacked.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm trying to get there, bro. Like summer.
You're pretty.
It's
pretty
summer
solid
year round.
This is Ronnie from the Jersey Shore. And John, what was your takeaway from Joe? Like initial reaction? Or
How could I not say? I'd be ignoring the elephant in the room. This guy's handsome. Look at this guy. He's Italian. He's handsome. He's mad cool, bro. Like
got Joey C and Johnny V, baby.
Yes.
We're gonna be taking down DJs. We're taking down the shore next summer, cuz
Yep, you'll be back home. Probably slightly disappointed coming back home because Tampa is gorgeous. It is such a really nice place, and it's a really nice blend of everything. I told you that. So, unfortunately, you're coming back home. But when you do come back home, obviously, we're gonna go out and we'll have a great time.
Obviously, but Joe, listen, we got an off week this week. We got Super Bowl next week. I don't want us to give out the predictions right away. I want everybody to be on the hook a little bit. Let them suffer. Let them suffer just a bit. What are you feeling about this Rams-Bengals? The Rams are laying 4.5. They're technically the away team to the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Shiesty, Joey franchise. What's your initial look at Super Bowl LVI?
My initial reaction is I think a lot of people were underrating the Bengals defense before last week. And for them to have given up 3 touchdowns on the first 3 possessions and then to have essentially shut out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs the rest of the game, that was really, really impressive to me. Now, I think the Rams are more top-heavy, and they have a lot of skill guys, obviously, at the key positions you want on offense. You got your boy Matt Stafford. Beckham's been really, really good. A lot of people didn't think that was going to happen. Cooper Kupp continuing to have a great postseason. Aaron Donald was a difference maker. Von Miller was a difference maker. And Jalen Ramsey was a difference maker. But I think the Bengals' depth showed last week, and it showed that they are for real. A lot of people didn't think they were for real, but you win 3 playoff games and you win 2 games against the number 1 seed, even though we'd all thought the Titans were a bit weaker. Sorry, Kyle. I know he's not here. Didn't want to knock him. Thought he was gone, but and then the Chiefs, most people still thought that they were class in the AFC, and Cincinnati kind of went in there and kind of upended things a little bit. So I think you got to give the Bengals credit. I think even though the Rams were, where were they? They were the 4 seed, right? So I think a lot of people thought the Rams were in the mix for that top spot in the NFC. The seeding kind of didn't show it, but I think the pedigree that a lot of people thought the Rams would have in the preseason ended up showing out in the postseason here. I think it's a really great fresh matchup. I like both quarterbacks. I think Stafford took his own path to get here. He's been in the league 13 years, finally getting a shot with a good team. And in his first year with a good team, gets to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, he'd be the first person to win the Heisman Trophy and win a Super Bowl, in 3 years? I think a 3-year span. So, he could do something historic here. Sean McVay, good head coach. Zach Taylor coached underneath Sean McVay, right? So there are a lot of really great storylines here. Tampa hosted the game last year. Your Buccaneers, the Rams hosting the game this year. A lot of really great storylines, and I think that I think it's two likable teams, and I think a lot of people are really excited for the game in general.
If you had an early lean, because the line opened at 3.5 for the Rams, minus 3.5. It's taken some serious steam, like the little engine that could, up to 4.5. It could get even bigger. We don't know. But early look right now, where are you leaning? Rams minus 4.5 or Bengals plus 4.5?
My guy, Joe Burrow, right? I've been telling you for weeks. Your guy, Matthew Stafford. I kind of see where this is going. We're going to lean each way here. Not only am I going to take the 4.5 with the Bengals, I'm going to take the Bengals outright. I'm going to bet the Bengals money line in the Super Bowl. I think they're going to win the game outright.
Excuse you? Are you? It's actually interesting note. So let me share a quick little note of expertise, if you will. Since 2000, there are 4 quarterbacks to make a Super Bowl in their second year. Tom Brady, Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick. All of them won it except for Kaepernick. So you think Joe Burrow gets added to that list?
I do.
Jeez.
I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think these are two evenly matched teams. I really do. And I like the fact that they both came out of their respective conferences as the 4 seed. I think they both had to work and win 3 really tough, grinded out style playoff games to get here. I'm kidding. The Rams obviously blew out the Cardinals, but they both took the harder path to get here. For however many years, a lot of people were complaining that it always used to be the top seed in the AFC, the top seed in the NFC. There was a lot of chalk in recent years with these games, right? Until last year, Brady and the Bucs, they ended up getting a favorable path. They got to the Super Bowl as the home team. They won. So these two teams, they took the harder road to get here. And like I said, I just think they're two good teams. They're both, a little bit different, right? The Rams a little more top heavy. I think the Bengals are a little more spread out talent wise. They don't necessarily have as many good top end guys as the Rams did. But I think with that game last week against Kansas City, I think it's going to go a long way to affecting their mental psyche and how they play out the game. So again, I just think it's two really, really good teams, two even teams. I think it's, even though the Rams got there a couple of years ago, I think with Stafford as quarterback instead of Jared Goff, I think it kind of keeps things fresh. So fresh matchup. I'm really excited for it. Of the matchups, I think this was the one I wanted to see the most.
Fair point. That's a fair point. But just to play devil's advocate, are you really going to doubt Big Daddy Matthew Stafford? Doesn't it feel like the Rams are a team of destiny right now? I mean, doesn't
a little
it?
bit.
Like, don't you believe in Stafford had an MVP type of year? He just made I don't know what you're laughing about. It's not that funny. He
had a great season. He did.
He made everybody around him better. He made Cooper Kupp into a Triple Crown winning wide receiver. And I hate to break it to everybody, but as great of a year as Cooper Kupp has had, most of it is a direct result of number 9 playing quarterback. He never had more than 1,170 yards in his entire career before Stafford showed up. He never had 100 catches in a season. Stafford blew it out of the water with him. And I love Cooper Kupp. I think he's
Does
awesome.
that, as Woods getting injured, impact that at all? Like,
yes, huge.
Okay.
Robert Woods, who, by the way, was starting to come on before he got hurt, quietly starting to put up, a nice string of games. That was huge for Cooper Kupp's statistical profile. Absolutely. And what I would like to point out is I sent out a tweet in probably July after Stafford got picked up by the Rams. I said, in essence, what Cooper Kupp did this year is what Robert Woods was supposed to do. This is the year I had Robert Woods because, in my opinion, I think Robert Woods is just as good, if not possibly better than Cooper Kupp. And if you look back the last 4 years they played together, the numbers would support it. And by the way, Robert Woods does a lot more for that offense that doesn't go in the box score. And anybody, including Cooper Kupp, will probably tell you that. He is a vital piece to that offense. Basically what Chris Godwin is to the Bucs is what Robert Woods is to the Rams. So, I mean, I would just like to point it out that, listen, you could take Cincinnati. Absolutely no problem. But I just want to hear your thoughts on – I wanted to hear your thoughts on how you were just going to fade number 9 under center.
I mean, we got 2 number 9s playing in the game. So Nick likes that. He was thinking the same thing. Well, Stafford had a great season. Cooper Kupp is – you're right in the sense that a lot of people don't realize that Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods in particular are really great blockers at receiver. They're some of the best blockers in the NFL, and that offense is consistently one of the best for a reason, and that's because of it. So, no, listen, I respect the Rams offense. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with the tight end situation because last week, both their tight ends got hurt. C.J. Uzomah got hurt early, and I think he avoided major injury, but it's going to be probably, I guess, 50-50 if he plays in the game. I haven't seen anything about Tyler Higbee yet. You would probably know that more than I have. I haven't really checked in the last, 48 hours or so. But that's going to be interesting, I think, too, because I think with the way Uzomah was playing and with the role that Higbee has in that offense, it's very, very important.
Fair enough. So, Nick, kick us off here. Me and you decidedly want to just tease our picks till next week. So we just, kind of have a little something to talk about. And just FYI, buddy, after next week, we're going to get right into baseball season.
What's that?
There's going to be no season.
No. There is. Hey, listen, there is. I don't want to hear that negativity right now. There's definitely going to be a baseball season this season. So let's start the Z.
Johnny, you got a line on the Pro Bowl? You going to NFC here?
I am not going to the Pro Bowl. I am not even watching the Pro Bowl. I'll be on the golf course when it's on.
Really? All right. Well, as far as this game goes, I won't get my pick, but betting-wise, right now I would lean like a +4.5 for the Bengals. They're always in every game, so I would certainly have to be comfortable with that. If it keeps going up, where it gets to 5.5, I mean, that's even better. If it dips down to like a 2.5, then you got to worry a bit. But very comfortable with the 4.5 point spread to pick the Bengals in that. And right now, initially, I was saying before Joe came on, I like the under. I just feel like all these games the Bengals are playing right now, the under is there. Or they're more, maybe not the under, but they're low scoring type of games here. I do think this is going to be like a 24-21 type of game. So to me, that's in the under territory. And, I just think it's going to be, a close, good game, which is great. And I'm just so relieved I don't have to watch the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. Just so happy about that. Cause now we actually can get like a new star. That's why I wanted the Bills to win. I'm happy the Bengals got there because now we get some new quarterback stars in here. I don't need to see Mahomes every year. We got 2 guys in the Super Bowl who have never been in the Super Bowl, which is great for the game, especially with all the historic veterans we got retiring in the past 2 years. Breeze, now we got Big Ben, Brady, Rodgers could be next. So it's time to make some new stars, and the way you do that is getting new guys in the Super Bowl at quarterback who have never been there. So definitely excited that the Bengals were able to make the Super Bowl over the Chiefs because the Chiefs are just like the same old storyline, blah, blah, blah. But we got something fresh and new, which is great.
Well, I'm not giving away anything on my picks, but Joe, I want to hear what kind of prop bets do you like for this game? Oh, hold on. You're on mute, buddy.
Hold
on. You got to start all over again. You were on mute.
You were right. Was I? Where did we on around the horn over here? You muted me?
I muted you. Yes.
Did you take away a couple points from me?
Well, I hear a TV in the background, so I muted it.
Okay, fair enough. There is a TV going. I probably should have muted that. So right off the bat, I'm a little 50-50 on the over-under because I could see a scenario where it is a 24-21 game, and I can see a scenario where both teams just go up and down the field the whole game and score in the high 30s, low 40s, just because I think both offenses are great, and I think the 4 top receivers playing in the game, probably the best 4 collective receivers. I think maybe, and I'm talking about strictly a wide receiver. I'm talking Beckham, I'm talking Kupp, I'm talking Higgins, and I'm talking Jamar Chase. The talent those 4 guys possess at wide receiver, it's probably the best we've seen in an individual Super Bowl game in a couple of years. But for a prop bet that I do like, I love the first drive result of the game resulting in an offensive touchdown. That's plus 330. I think whoever gets the ball first is going right down the field and putting up 7 immediately.
Don't tempt me with a good time. There we go, man. Look at that. Plus 330.
Plus 330 first.
Your boy loves some plus money like that. Like, what do we think? Rams get the ball first, go down the field.
I think the first team is going to go right down the field.
Nick, what about you, bud? I love that, Joe, by the way.
All right, so I got 2 for you, and it's all because of our guy, McPherson, who we discussed a few weeks ago. We were all about, the energy, who's bringing off the most energy, and this guy, he's definitely one of them. So I definitely like first team to make a field goal, Cincinnati, plus 115. Reason for that is Cincinnati constantly gets a field goal to start their games, and they always kind of ease into it and have to come back. So pretty sure they'll get a field goal to start things off. And Cincinnati over-under field goals, 1.5. Got to go the over on that because that's what the Bengals do. They kick field goals. So if it's going to be 2 field goals, I think I'll easily take 2 field goals. I mean, this is a scenario here where if the Bengals win this game, you could be looking at a kicker as the MVP because I think it's just going to be like, I mean, if he kicks 4 field goals, he's got to be the MVP. Because we said it before, Burrow, he's not winning with his stats. I mean, and you're looking for, like Johnny, I know you're going to pick the Rams, but if you're betting for MVP for Bengals, who do you pick? You go Burrow, but you got to pick somebody for some value. So I don't know. Maybe you pick
Jamar Chase is value.
But I don't know. When's the last time a receiver won MVP? Not that they shouldn't.
Didn't Julian Edelman win it when the Rams played the Patriots?
I think you're right. The comeback.
He did. Julian Edelman did win. Yep.
I know I'm right. I'm just, it was more of a rhetorical question. I mean,
it should be on our podcast.
Yeah, you know what? I should. And great invite. You always invite me at the worst possible times. Just FYI.
Thursday, 3 p.m.
Neither here nor there. Oh, we will. We certainly, will be doing that at some point very soon. But I mean, no, absolutely, that's a good look, man. I think McPherson's good for 2, maybe 3 field goals. First field goal, McPherson, absolutely. I do like that. Matty Gay has been a little bit off lately. I don't know if that injury he sustained in the pregame against Tampa has a lot to do with it, but if the Rams had to settle for, let's say, a 50-yard field goal, he's not as automatic as he's been this season lately. So absolutely, McPherson looks good. Yeah, man, I see him getting 2 field goals easy. I could see him getting 2 field goals in the first half because, as you said, the Bengals have been notoriously slow starting. They've been down by 7 points or more in 5 of their last 9 games. So to think McPherson can't get 2 field goals in the first half, that's a little ridiculous. And by the way, bro, I told you I don't want to give out my picks this early, so stop. Stop laying it up for me. Stop laying it up for me.
Johnny's picking the Bengals.
I'm picking no.
There are a couple of other player props that I do like during the game, but for purposes of saving stuff for next week.
Yeah, save stuff for bro. You could come back on next week. Save some stuff. We got to keep some bullets in the chamber.
Joe, give me your Gatorade color.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it not my turn?
I'm
kidding, bro. Go. Tell me.
I mean, the Bengals are clearly going to have orange, and the Rams, I think, are going to have yellow. So,
not blue?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be yellow.
Not that Cool Rush blue?
I think it's going to be lemon.
That is a good color. The lemon lime. That's a top notch, flavor Gatorade.
Yes.
But without giving away any result that I think for the game, one that I like that's good plus money value on PointsBet right now. Odell Beckham. Anytime Todd, plus 135. You know what, man? He hasn't scored a touchdown in a few weeks. He's got 6 TDs over his last 10 games with the Rams. I think he's kind of due. I think what's going to probably happen is, at least if the Bengals have any brains in their head, is if not doubling Cooper Kupp, at least shading coverage, doing a little bit of a bracket, which could leave some vulnerability for, let's just say, Eli Apple one-on-one with Odell, advantage Odell all day, every day. Now, he's got 19 targets over his last 2 games, so I think they're going to continue to give him, I would say, 9 to 12 targets in the Super Bowl, kind of like how we had against the 49ers. And if that's the case, man, like, it doesn't even have to wait till the red zone. He could take a 30-yarder to the house. He could take it from anywhere on the field. So I think Odell Beckham at plus money, that's a solid bet. And I think that one comes home. He's been waiting for this for a long time. He's a guy who played in New York. He understands the pressure. And I think he's just going to show out and have himself a day. I like Odell Beckham. Your Honor, no objections.
I think when it comes to the Super Bowl and you're looking at player props, anything that's plus value, immediately you have to salivate at the mouth for, right? So, like, when you say Beckham's plus 135 to score, I'm thinking to myself, okay, he had 9 catches last week. He didn't find the end zone. He hasn't found the end zone, but he could realistically find the end zone against Eli Apple, one of Nick's favorite Giants cornerbacks. We all know that.
I got a question on that bet, though, because this is a play I think we're going to see in the Super Bowl. If Odell throws a touchdown, does it still cash?
Has to, right?
That's a good question.
It has to. It's still a touchdown.
Because I really think they're going to have Odell come on the under round and throw it. They do that all the time.
That's a good prediction, Nick. That's a good prediction. I don't know the fine print.
I want to find value on that now because I'm going to bet.
Yeah, I honestly don't know the fine print on that. I don't know if they're going to count any. From what I feel like and what I've seen, I think an anytime touchdown is technically the ball carrier crossing the plane. So if Odell throws one, I don't know if that goes to anytime touchdown. But then he threw one. You know what? I have to get back to you on that. I got to do a little research.
Let's go over 0.5 Odell Beckham Jr. pass attempts for the game. I don't know if you probably can't bet that, but I think he's gonna throw a pass for sure on the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
If you hit a points bet, you could request your own bet. So I have no idea. I would think it's pretty favorable odds for Odell Beckham over half a pass. I could see Sean McVay pulling out a little trickery. He's not going to waste Cooper Kupp throwing a pass. He'll use Odell. Odell's got a pretty good arm.
Odell's thrown 50-yard bombs to Saquon Barkley before. So
yeah, he's got a good arm. That's an interesting one. You know what? I'm going to file that one away in the old memory bank, and maybe I'll make a little play on that. Joe,
yes,
you have graced us with your presence, obviously, and your Emerge Player of the Night brought to you by Emerge Sports Group. Our boy Jay Hen, Joseph, take it away.
I mean, who else am I going to choose? I've been riding him for weeks. I rode him at the end of the season. Unfortunately, Nick's guy, Josh Allen, couldn't get the job done. My guy did get the job done. And the Emerge Sports Group Player of the Week will be Mr. Joe Burrow. And once upon a time in Super Bowl III, we christened Joe Namath and we gave him the Broadway Joe nickname. By the end of February 13th, when the Cincinnati Bengals win the Super Bowl, we're going to have Mr. Hollywood, and we're going to call him Mr. Hollywood Joe Burrow.
That's a fair point. I don't know if I agree with it.
I have one more prop for you just because you mentioned Beckham before. And again, we don't want to give away too much. However, if you are aligned with Mr. Johnny and Mr. Nick with Odell, first touchdown score in the game, Odell would be plus 1,000.
That's tasty.
I'm just saying.
That's tasty.
Very tasty.
You know what?
And I know you love. Listen. Even though we're going to disagree on the game a little bit, I know how to.
I want to hear you guys talk about.
Butter you up.
I want to hear you guys discuss why you should not be placing bets on the Super Bowl on Caesars Sportsbook and why it's going to crash.
It's the worst.
You know what? I can't really. I feel obliged to not get into that right now, but I most certainly at some point will.
Joe's been tweeting it, so I figured Joe could.
I pulled all my money from Caesars. They're out.
They're done. They're done. They're done.
You only get so many chances. The location services with the app, it's pretty faulty, and it's not just when I'm in my house. Because I have access to Wi-Fi when I'm in the house, so it's easier to set up the location service when you're in a house. So it's not working in my house. It's not working when I'm in Jersey, when I'm driving, or when I'm stopped somewhere. And it's not working in Manhattan. And I've been to Manhattan a couple times over the course of the past few weeks. So when is it going to work?
You could not get your money line Rams bet in.
I wanted to bet the Rams.
Quarter.
This is true. And we have the text to prove it. On Sunday, when the Rams went down 17-7, which I thought was to their benefit, because I thought McVay with the first down running play calling was taking the Rams out of the game. Down 10, you think less, right? You just pass. And what did they do? Fourth quarter, they were forced to pass the whole time. Did they run a few times? Sure. But with Stafford passing the whole time, what happened? They scored on 3 straight possessions and they won the game, right? So when they went down 10, like I wanted to put the bet in so badly, and the app didn't work. And I was pissed, and I'm pissed, and I'm done with Caesars. All that nonsense.
Yeah, I'm never ever using them.
Like
I said, we'll get into that. We'll get into that one day, but that day is not today.
No.
Nicholas, kick us off here. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is I don't know. I think this trio is pretty good. I don't know. Kyle's days might be numbered here.
just like his Titans. Oh, poor guy.
Sorry, Kyle. Just kidding. Kyle, when you clip this for social,
were you though?
You'll see it's joke. It's a joke when he clips it for social.
Yeah.
Were you kidding though? That's the big thing.
Yes,
were you kidding?
Joe cannot commit to anything else. He's all over the place here. But my final thoughts is Staten Island Ferry Hawks, new team, the manager, Edgardo Alfonso, my guy. So looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll get to a game this season, Joe. But I hope that's not the only game we're getting to, because I hope we get some Major League Baseball. How about these billionaires and millionaires put their egos aside, and we can kind of get some spring training going here, because you're already feeling it now. There's only one football game left here. I know Johnny's going to be all over the USFL, which starts in March, but I need baseball. I don't care about basketball. Let's go Rangers, Joe. But the Knicks stink. Johnny's gotten burned already with his basketball bets, so we need some baseball here. Hopefully something can get done, but I think we're looking at maybe a May opening day if we're lucky.
Oh, don't say that.
Listen, I got my fingers crossed. Based on the information that Nick and I hear from our people, and based on what you see on Twitter, reports trickling in, there's more reason to be pessimistic right now than optimistic, but we will stay optimistic because I want baseball season and I want more JohnnyVTV appearances, so we could talk about baseball in the spring.
Yeah. If that happens, bro, I'm scared. Like, I don't anticipate the season starting on time.
No.
But like, bro, if you miss a few weeks, even 4 weeks, like I could live with it. Just, bro, get on the diamond. Everybody stop being so greedy. These owners need to just knock it off. Who puts the fans in the stands? It's not you. It's the players. Let's resolve this situation and get back to business. Honestly, my final thoughts are, man. Anybody watch the new season of Gomorrah? Season 5's out. We got a lot of good TV coming out right now. We got season 5 of Gomorrah, which is one of the most underrated shows on TV right now. We got The Righteous Gem. Joe,
how about the show Joe's watching?
Killing me, Joe. What are you watching? You're killing my train of thought here, guy.
I'm sorry. I still gotta watch Succession.
As Tony Reali would do. So Righteous Gemstones season 2, great show. Danny McBride, the star of Eastbound and Down. Euphoria season 2, one of the best shows to ever hit TV. Peaky Blinders season 6 is coming out in the next few weeks. A lot of great TV time, especially with a little slower time in sports. unless you really love the NBA, college ball, and the Olympics, now's the perfect time to start new shows and these new seasons. Because don't forget, I majored in sports betting and fantasy, but I minored as a TV and film connoisseur. There you have it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with the official plays on the Super Bowl, even though Nick is dead set on giving away everything I'm thinking about. Follow us on me at _JohnnyVTV on Twitter. He's at Nick_Durst. And we got Joe at Calabrese1. Thank you very much. We're out.